Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 494 based on novel. So let's start. Time and space saw teeth buzzing and shaking, tearing apart the entire void of the Thunder Pond, carrying an indescribable divine power, and suddenly entered the pitch-black demon abyss that seemed to be gushing out from the mouth of a ferocious demon. In the pitch-black demon abyss, the colorful space-time sawtooth collided fiercely, and the entire demon abyss actually erupted with violent ripples of evil energy. Bang! A deafening sound resounded, and the void in the entire Thunder Pond was shattered like crystal fragments, turning into huge pools of thunder, floating aimlessly in the Thunder Pond shrine. In the next moment, evil Mo Yuan finally failed to resist the terrorist attack jointly launched by the three women, and collapsed in an instant, and countless demonic energy was torn apart and disappeared at an alarming speed. Mo Yuan collapsed, and the body of the demon of darkness reappeared in front of the three women. The power of thunder. The power of the spirit butterfly. Just in this time-space sawtooth carrying the destructive power, even if it bombarded the body of the dark demon, the latter suddenly roared, and the extremely terrifying energy flowed out of its skin, and then around its body, formed dozens of layers of large and small energy shield. Bang bang bang! At the moment of the impact, the energy shields collapsed instantly, but no matter how many layers of energy shields collapsed, the demon of darkness seemed to have inexhaustible power. After adding the time-space sawtooth to break the demon abyss, the power has dropped significantly. Crack! With a sound, the demon of darkness stretched out his arm, suddenly pinched the time-space sawtooth, and the piercing humming sound of shattering sounded completely. The attack that gathered the three women was broken, and the three women stood in the distance with ugly expressions, and there were waves of weakness in their bodies. At this moment, it seems that the overall situation has been settled. The three women joined forces, even if Yueru and Yunyun wielded their inheritance and internal strength, and Yaoling used the power of Yaochi's divine weapon, the strength of the three temporarily reached the fifth reincarnation level. Since you can't struggle, let's go. The demon of darkness dissipated the surrounding power and walked towards the three women step by step. With every step, the three girls clearly knew that they were one step closer to death. Although the ending is like this, I don't regret it. This fairyland on earth deserves my protection. Suddenly, Yu smiled lightly, and at the same time, countless ancient powers burned on her body. A moon will quietly emerged, like some ancient things. Yun and Yaoling looked at each other, gritted their teeth, and just about to take action, they saw dark green Soul Mountains rising up in the distance. Soul Mountain is illusory, but it contains amazing fluctuations that are suffocating. Xiaoyang, you stop me. Do you know what you are doing? Looking at the dark green radiance rising from Xiaoyang's body below, Yunyun's beautiful eyes were tightly locked, and she directly roared. Her heart shrank violently, as timid as a little girl was afraid of losing her most beloved thing. I know. That's why it had to be done. Xiaoyang still ignored it, holding an extremely complicated devil's cube in his hand. The power on it was crushed little by little, and combined with the power in his own body, it drove his own strength that was inexperienced, and instantly soared. The demon of darkness is still standing in the void, like a real eternal demon god. But after seeing the strange demon power on Xiaoyang's body, the whole body exudes waves of greed. The power in Xiaoyang's body is extremely powerful, and he has never seen it in the Great Thousand Worlds, which makes the demon of darkness formed by devouring the origin of others particularly greedy. Xiaoyang, you will die if you continue like this. Seeing Xiaoyang's actions, Yu gritted her silver teeth, paused the power rising in her body, and said, Xiaoyang, you can't die. You haven't done what you promised me. Yunyun's beautiful eyes were red, and she looked helpless in pain. The teacher has fallen, and now his beloved is like this, which makes Yunyun, who has always been unmoved in his heart, clearly aware of his heart. Devil's Realm. With a wave of the demon Xiaoyang, a thick dark green energy instantly isolated the three Yunyun girls and the Heavenly Emperor. The demon of darkness and Xiaoyang were facing each other at a distance, but a trace of colorful abilities slowly overflowed from his body, and an extremely powerful coercion spread out. Obviously, this so-called demon Xiaoyang made him smell a dangerous wave. Demon power. The demon Xiaoyang roared to the sky, without any fear in his mind. Some are just endless madness. The power of the devil, never give up. In the face of more and more powerful opponents, the more the potential of the devil's blood can be stimulated. Since Xiaoyang mastered the power of demons, he has dealt with countless crises, big and small, but only this time in front of him allowed Xiaoyang to clearly know what a demon is. When it is strong, and it will never be extinguished. If Xiaoyang can carry it over this time, the power of the demons in his body will be completely compatible with himself, and even that kind of demonic backlash will probably disappear completely. At that time, the use of demon power can be done at will, and there is no need to worry about backlash, and no need to use the power of the demon cube. Breakthrough. The demon of darkness raised its ugly head, and immediately spit out a beam of 5-colored brilliance. The power of white extreme cold, the power of cyan holy flame, the power of silver thunder, the aura of yellow rock, together with a ray of black monstrous evil energy, is like a 5-colored prison that binds all things. Buzzing and shaking. Such power is enough to crush this void into a bubble. Crack. Stop using this little trick to fool ants. On the palm of the demon Xiaoyang, bursts of dark green demon brilliance appeared, and he suddenly clenched his fist and threw a punch. With a seemingly effortless punch, the 5-color Guanghua cage was smashed into pieces. 5-color energies fall into the thunder pond at will, and the world shakes, as if the thunder pond world in this shrine will completely collapse at any time. The face of good and evil. The dark demon let out a low roar, and immediately shot. This time, a gloomy blood energy like a human face formed a human-shaped mask and roared away at Xiaoyang. The eerie mourning and the sound of mourning are endless. If the mind is not firm, I am afraid it is easy to get lost. Bang bang bang. The hair behind the demon Xiaoyang suddenly grew savagely, like a human-devouring monster, rushing towards the faces of the people. The sky was dark, and the whole world was eclipsed. The suffocating scene made the 3 women below look at each other in dismay. What kind of power is this? With the strength of the 5th-layer reincarnation rank, it is actually able to resist the attack of the powerhouse of the 6th-layer reincarnation rank. It's even intractable for a while. His body, is being tortured by the so-called demonic power. I can't let him go on like this. Yun looked at the crazy appearance of the demon Xiaoyang, but her heart was full of pain. Behind such a powerful force, the torture and pain that needs to be endured, I am afraid no one knows better than Yun. Stop. If you go out now, can you win? Yueru directly grabbed Yun's arm and scolded. Even if they fall together, I don't want him to become a monster. Yun shook her head, rather reluctantly. Actually, I am quite envious of you. At least he has you in his heart. Man, he is always dissatisfied with the status quo. But the 2 women looked at each other, but after a while they became quiet. Obviously it was a torture that directly hit the soul. However, Yun was still extremely worried about Xiaoyang's safety. As soon as she gritted her teeth, a slightly demonic flame flower burst out. Xiaoyang, you want to win. The flame flowers were slightly entrenched in the devil's realm, protecting the safety of the 3 daughters. Yun folded her arms around her chest and prayed quietly. That appearance looks like a weak woman who is waiting to marry in her boudoir, looking forward to the safe return of her husband, Rui. In the sky, the war had just begun, and the 2 suddenly burst out with one after another of extremely powerful attacks. The energy fluctuations that destroyed the sky and the earth made the entire Thunder Lake Shrine tremble, as if it would completely collapse at any time. After a fight, although the 2 had their own winners and losers, they were unscathed. There is still a gap in strength between the 2, but in the face of the demonic power of the demon Xiaoyang, who is not afraid of death, the demon of darkness has to be serious. Although his strength is powerful, the power in his body is much inferior to that of a demon. If you want to kill this demon completely, you can only use the real killer. What kind of strange power is the power in this demon's body? I can't even handle the many noisy forces within me. The 7th-layer reincarnation demon tribulation is still too strong. If I succeed in transcending the tribulation, how can it be this miserable appearance? On the face of the demon of darkness, bursts of maddened and sinister smiles stared at Xiaoyang, his tongue licked slightly. His greed for the power of the devil could not be added. The power of the devil is too mysterious. Once he can devour it, the 7th reincarnation tribulation will not be a problem. As long as you break through the 7th tribulation, you will be able to integrate many noisy powers in your body. At that time, whether it is strength or combat effectiveness, you will increase by a lot. The 8th evil outside the realm is none other than me. If it goes on like this, once the power of the devil is exhausted, we can't escape the road of destruction. The demon of darkness also has a very weak demon power in his body. If it is forced, I am afraid I can only try to see if it can break him. Looks like it must be done quickly. The demon soul mountain behind demon Xiaoyang began to collapse, and pieces of demon feathers condensed out, and a pair of demon wings with a volume of nearly 1,000 feet were formed behind her. Above the devil's wings, there are dark green devil's horns, and the wave of evil spirits makes the world move. Just after being blessed behind the demon Xiaoyang, a deadly aura filled the air, as if the current Xiaoyang was just an arrogant and inhuman murderous devil, especially cold-blooded. The two real eternal demon lords stood in the sky, and the monstrous murderous intent exuded from their eyes made people shudder. That kind of power has simply surpassed everyone's cognition. Their victory or defeat almost determines the survival of the heavens. The power of evil. Suddenly, the demon of darkness shone with countless kinds of brilliant brilliance, vaguely forming a dazzling light circle above its head. Above the light wheel, there are several completely different strange powers: evil, hot, cold, holy, etc. The power is expanding, and an amazing power that devours all things swept out. The power of devouring had just spread, and the power of the thunder that remained in the entire Thunder Pond Shrine was swallowed up by it without a trace. Is this the origin of the demon of darkness? Devouring evil power is indeed somewhat similar to the demon power in my body. Xiaoyang's face was gloomy, and he glanced at the increasingly dazzling light wheel, and a flash of madness flashed in his eyes. As a true demon power owner, the demon power in Xiaoyang's body is the most authentic. Demon wings, demon phantom, bring it on. Xiaoyang showed his evil teeth that had long been rendered dark green, and his hands suddenly stretched out to seal in the void, and the demon wings behind him suddenly became demonic and evil. Shadow is on it. Original evil power, swallow it up for me. The demon of darkness roared, and violent killing intent like a wild beast waved out, and then the whole body suddenly became crystal clear, and noisy energy continuously poured out of its body and injected into the light wheel above its head. The splendid halo intensified, and several terrifying forces rose into the sky, as if there were evil spirits humming, and it was like a human powerhouse wailing and wailing. After the breath, a round of brilliant energy black holes quietly spread out from the top of the dark demon's head. It's as if this piece of heaven and earth will be completely turned into dust under this level of attack. This is an attack at the top immortality level. The heavenly emperor below covered his chest, protecting the last trace of his origin, and looked at that round of halo black hole with a solemn expression. Where the halo black hole passes, everything is empty, countless powers are empty, and they are easily swallowed up by it. As if all powers are in front of it, they are as weak as insignificant ant. Too strong. The halo black hole formed by the fusion of good and evil forces is too strong. It's not something they can handle at all. In another place, the holy flame at the center of Yun Yun's eyebrows began to beat violently, as if feeling an unprecedented uneasiness. Yueru and Yaoling on the side, each holding an artifact, quietly watched the fight above. In any case, this piece of fairyland on earth cannot be left alone. Good come. Demon Xiaoyang roared angrily, and immediately stepped out step by step, only to see the demon's wings behind him completely shattered and turned into a real demon, making a heart-pounding roar. The dark green evil hair is extraordinarily strange, and the entire body is covered with dark green demon bloodlights. The fluctuation turned out to make the void of Lei Kai Shrine begin to distort a little bit. Countless demon bloodlights gathered in front of him, like a thunder waterfall. Generally deafening. Boom. The shadow of the devil roared out and collided with that round of the halo black hole. Indistinctly, there was a humming sound of space tearing, and all the voids in the entire world suddenly collapsed, and scenes of black holes were like cannibal beasts, raging open. Two almost destructive forces spread out, and the violent force shocked people. Bang bang bang. When the two collided, the entire space bore the brunt, followed by the demon Xiaoyang and the demon of darkness. At this time, large and small energy residues spread out from the two of them, a majestic force of destruction, constantly impacting their bodies. Now, there's only that way. In the demon's eyes, bursts of helplessness suddenly appeared, and immediately the body of the demon Xiaoyang was eroded by the black hole of the halo. With a sound, the black hole of the light wheel completely swallowed the demon Xiaoyang away, and the endless dark green demon power, like a river of heaven, flowed out from the light wheel and gently poured into the demon of darkness. At that time, the aura of the demon Xiaoyang passed by rapidly. On the contrary, the aura of the dark demon was moving from the 6th level reincarnation level to the peak of the 6th level reincarnation level, even vaguely, with a real 6th level reincarnation level. Demon Xiaoyang was actually defeated. A touch of consternation filled the minds of the four people below, and it didn't go away for a long time. In an instant, a group of extremely bright power, like a delicate flower, slowly bloomed. Above the sky, the power of destruction emitted by the black hole of the light wheel is still spreading, but Xiaoyang's figure has long been swallowed up by it, and even the power of the demons that was originally left in the void has all turned into pure energy at this time. A steady stream flowed into the body of the dark demon. But even so, The two demon realms that enveloped the four people did not show any signs of collapse, which was very strange. It stands to reason that if the master falls, the realm of demons will also disappear together, but the unique demon power in Xiaoyang has already poured into the body of the demon of darkness. Are you crazy? Seeing the flames flickering between Yun's eyebrows, the anger that looked like death, Yu suddenly stretched out her hand and suppressed it in one fell swoop, and immediately exclaimed, "Let me go. I want him to be buried with Xiaoyang." In the meantime, an ancient flower suddenly appeared in Yun's eyes. On top of that, not only did it possess the most terrifying power of destruction, but there was even a touch of extremely complicated and mysterious fluctuations. The power of the flower inheritance. Look at this demon world, there is no trace of shattering, he is not dead yet. Looking at Yun's insistence, Yu poured a basin of cold water down. It's not unreasonable to see Sure in the eyes of a lover. If the person he loves suffers such a terrifying attack, if it is his previous self, he will definitely be swept away by anger. You mean? In an instant, Yun also suddenly noticed something, and turned from sadness to joy. In the world of demons, there is no sign of the demon's power diminishing. On the contrary, the body of the dark demon above the sky is filled with layers of dark green demon power. We only have one chance to attack. If we lose, the entire immortal world will be completely destroyed here. Bring it on. After a while, Yun also knew Xiaoyang's intention, and immediately stretched out her pure white palm. A rare look reappeared in her beautiful eyes. Mark of the moon god sword. Yaokai order. Flower god is out of the way. The three coquettish shouts sounded like one after another of the sounds of heaven, and the weak force was like a candlelight that pierced the night, slowly swept away at the black hole of the light wheel. Ha ha ha. This time, I won. This is the power of the devil, a new power. This world will lie dormant at my feet. On the face of the dark demon, there was a burst of madness. Feeling the soaring strength in the body and the new demon power, the corners of the mouth turned hideous. With this kind of power, all living beings are in their hands, vulnerable to a single blow. Boom. Immediately, the black hole of the light wheel shattered under its control. Accompanied by bursts of humming sounds, the entire Thunder Pond shrine completely collapsed, an endless dark abyss gushed out, without knowing where it was connected. That terrifying power of space tearing is extraordinarily terrifying. However, the excitement of the demon of darkness did not last long. In the dark abyss, a faint breath suddenly emerged. How can it be? You're not dead. Above the abyss of the sky, a faint light suddenly appeared, walking towards the demon of darkness like a lonely ghost. The dark green blood water completely poured his entire body, and on the skin of his body, pieces of cyan dragon scales had already been destroyed by the explosive force just now. Immortal golden body, shattered. The immortal power within the body protects the origin of the demon Xiaoyang, but so what? As long as you don't die, the devil will never give up. The demon Xiaoyang was weakly entrenched in the void, and a little bit of holy flames dragged him around him, preventing him from being eroded by the black hole in the abyss. Demon Xiaoyang, dying. Even if you're not dead, so what? The power of the devil in your body has been absorbed by me, and now you are just a waste without the power of a chicken. The demon of darkness looked at the demon Xiaoyang above the sky with satisfaction. It's all over. The immortal world center, the Emperor of Heaven, and even the last descendant of the Xiao clan were all defeated by their own hand. You are the one who benefits the most in the entire heavenly plan. Devil's Blade. It seemed that he was afraid that the demon Xiaoyang was churning up some waves. The demon of darkness was tossing around, and the dark green demon power actually followed his guidance and converged into an inch-long and short blade in front of him. Above the short blade, there is an overwhelming demon blood glow, and under one blade, the entire world will be gone. Die. Ended. The demon of darkness said with a grim smile, urging the demon's blade to cut through the layers of dark abyss, and blasted away Xiaoyang, who was seriously injured. The void distorted and collapsed, and a force of destruction struck. Xiaoyang. Three majestic heaven and earth energies suddenly gushed out from the heaven and earth below, like three rising suns, blooming with indescribable extreme fluctuation. Dark demon, it's you who lost. Xiaoyang's eyes turned, and the scarlet killing intent took over his mind. He took over the three scorching suns below in one fell swoop, and waved together with the 5 holy flames in his body. What happened? At this moment, the short blade of the demon that whizzed away unexpectedly stayed in the void, and even the power within the demon of darkness was disintegrated little by little. Those demon powers are starting to fight back. Demon power, only real demons can use it. Xiaoyang smiled, with that kind of madness and excitement in his smile. After all, he still bet right. With the greed of the dark demon for demon power, use the demon power as a lure. Once the dark demon devours it, it will be his death. The power of the devil is too mysterious, and even Xiaoyang used the devil fruit to control the mystery. The demon of darkness tried to suppress the backlash of the demon's power with its powerful strength. How could it be so easy? That is the devil, it cannot be suppressed, it cannot be destroyed. It is like a heinous lunatic who only knows how to ask for it. If there is no devil fruit as a seed, no matter what kind of powerful creature it can only be swallowed by it. At this moment, all the smiles on the demon of darkness's cheeks instantly solidified, and an unprecedented terror filled my heart. 5 Saint Patterns. The power of the holy pattern. Moon God Sword. Yarukai Order. The 4 dying voices exuded a terrifying and earth-shattering power, and they turned out to surround the demon of darkness together. Devil's Blade. Devil, follow me to kill the enemy. Boom. 5 attacks, as if the most ancient and powerful coercion between heaven and earth, instantly blasted away the demon body of darkness. Bang bang bang. The body of the Jubeoxian gourd was broken, and all the power gathered in front of the demon of darkness, trying to resist such a terrifying attack. It is a pity that once the power of the demon in the body was triggered by Xiaoyang, it was like a wild beast, eroding his life, his origin. Internal and external troubles, it seems that the end is already doomed. Bang bang bang. The roar that resounded through the heavens and the earth gushed out, and the dark demon was suddenly blasted out into a dark red abyss of tens of thousands of meters. In the abyss, ripples of energy continued to drift out, raging, and the already riddled world was eroded to pieces. The power that drifted out naturally includes the power of the devil, the power of the spirit butterfly fairy, and so on. These powers that were swallowed up by the dark demons completely fell off and decomposed from the body of the dark demons at this time, and were fed back to this riddled world. However, what everyone did not notice was that a rather dim cyan flame was quietly infused into their body under the attraction of Xiaoyang Fenju. That is the holy flame, not persecuted by evil forces. The law of space. After the rest, Yarou Lingyu raised her hand, controlled the pure power scattered around, and repaired this world. The demon of darkness has fallen. With the cooperation of the 4, there is no trace of struggle at all, and the body and spirit are destroyed. As for the power decomposed from his body, it has already been corroded by its source, and it is so evil that even Xiaoyang would not dare to absorb it without authorization. Simply using these huge powers, this piece of Thunder Pond Shrine was slowly repaired little by little. 1. After being quiet for a while, Yu just looked at this piece of heaven and earth in a daze, and a touch of sadness poured out. This battle is not easy. The love of the Moon God Palace Master for the immortal realm made Yuaru always maintain the most devout love for this world. Well, I won. On Xiaoyang's body, the devilish light faded slightly, like a terminally ill old man, gently lying on Yunyun's back. A seductive woman's green fragrance came out, and Xiaoyang couldn't help grinning as he felt the warmth from his skin. Fortunately, this time, immortal realm was saved. Although the loss is huge, as long as the foundation of the fairy world is still there, it is a happy situation. Xiaoyang, thank you. After the blink of an eye, Yarou Ling and Yu smiled sweetly at Xiaoyang together, their voices filled with a taste of the afterlife. Go down and see the emperor, his injury. After a moment of hesitation, Yarou Ling suddenly shook his head. Although the relationship between the heavenly emperor and the Xiao clan has long since broken, but now the immortal world is facing such a crisis, the importance of the heavenly emperor is self-evident. No. It seems that I still underestimate you. Just when the 4 of them were smiling, the entire restored Thunder Pond Shrine suddenly had a silver sky thunder, with some kind of turbulent fluctuations, falling from the sky. Countless silver sky thunders filled the shrine, completely imprisoning the void around Xiaoyang and the others. An extremely powerful pressure suppressed Xiaoyang and the others. God, what are you doing? Yunyun raised her eyebrows slightly, looking at the rising power of Heavenly Emperor, vaguely feeling a little uneasy. A descendant of the Xiao family, Xiaoyang. It's all at this point, is it still necessary to hide? There was a docile smile on the corner of Tiandi's mouth, but when he mentioned the word Xiao clan, the suffocating and murderous aura was intense. It was a really good show. Xiaoyang directly took off the thing covering his face, and immediately laughed softly. As long as the outcome is good, it doesn't matter. It's just that I didn't expect that there are actually 6 holy flames here, and the tyrannical demon like darkness will fall into your hands completely. The corner of Tiandi's mouth was hideous, and a frenzied smile appeared. I didn't expect you to be able to withstand the fatal blow of the demon of darkness. You should have some fetish in your hand, right? Xiaoyang coughed dryly and easily thought of something. The number one artifact in the fairy world, the ancient orchid. The heavenly emperor smiled slightly and took out the flower that had already completely withered. Really? Xiaoyang shook his head. The reason why heavenly emperor was able to be so unscathed was because he came prepared. Take off the cultivation method of Fenju and the source of the 6 holy flames. Otherwise, the body and spirit will be destroyed. Silver thunder whistled all over the body, sending out powerful waves, as if waiting for their king to issue orders. I mobilize the moon god seal, and I can stop him temporarily. You go. At this time, a threat of death filled her heart, and Yueru couldn't help but make a decisive decision. Although the strength of the heavenly emperor is not as good as that of the devil of darkness, his combat power and threatening power are probably even more terrifying than the devil of darkness. Then you will die. Yarrow Ling shook her head, but there was no sign of approval. Xiaoyang, let's go. I will use the inheritance of Xiaoyang and the god of flowers as a guide, enough to buy enough time for you. At this time, Yun Yun clenched her silver teeth and said stubbornly, the 3 women are of one mind, there is no sign of retreat in their eyes, and they look like they are determined to die. A manly man, standing upright, how could he shrink behind a class of female streamers? I'll stop him, you go. Xiaoyang laughed loudly, and climbed down from Yun Yun's back with some nostalgia, and stood tremblingly above the void. Senior, what percentage of me am I able to kill or stop the heavenly emperor? Xiaoyang asked the spirit of execution ruler. 1%, none. After hesitating for a while, the spirit of God execution ruler said, boy, the primordial orchid exists in the most mysterious 9 heavens and Xuanshu cave, and several generations of immortal world lords have not been able to subdue it. And according to what my master said, there are other fetishes accompanying the Taiku orchid. The spirit of Zhu Shenkai analyzed it to Xiaoyang with great worry. Is there no way? Xiaoyang gritted his teeth and looked unwilling to give up easily. To be able to get to this day, it is amazing that I have experienced countless lives and deaths. As long as there is so much chance of life, it is enough to give it a try. There is no way out. God-killing ruler, the power of the holy pattern formed by the 7 holy flames motivates the divine weapon. Perhaps this is the last hope. But what I want to remind you of is, the human world artifact list is the most powerful artifact in the Dakian world, but the God Execution Ruler is extremely special because it needs to be cultivated. But the danger faced by mastering the ruler of the gods is definitely not what you can imagine. This is an artifact. Even if it was mastered by the Holy King for the first time, it almost disappeared. What's more, the God Execution Ruler under the blessing of the 7 holy patterns, that kind of oppressive force is probably more terrifying than the devil's backlash. Once you can't stand it any longer, you will be destroyed in body and spirit, and you will disappear forever between heaven and earth. The spirit of Zhu Shenqi said faintly, as if waiting for Xiaoyang's decision. Come on, do you still have a choice now? Either die or go crazy again. Xiaoyang took a deep breath. The blood of the Xiao family in his chest was instantly forced back, and a pool of dark green blood filled every skin cell of Xiaoyang's body. At the same time, 6 bright flames like flowers suddenly poured out from Xiaoyang's body, surrounding each other, setting off a careless and awe-inspiring fluctuation. The 6th holy flame, the Wanmu origin fire obtained from the fall of the demon of darkness, ranked at the bottom of the holy flame list. Boring trick. It's all about to die. You people from the Xiao clan still like to put on airs like this. The heavenly emperor didn't care. He looked down on Xiaoyang's every move like a supreme king. His own strength is close to the peak, and Xiaoyang's strength and aura are all on the verge of dying. This is the pride of God. At the same time, it is also the emperor's hatred for the Xiao family. Why did the Xiao clan take all the credit for the heaven and earth war? What the heavenly emperor cares more about is the group of immortal guys from the Xiao clan. If they hadn't stopped him, how could he have lost his beloved? It's all the fault of those old men. Since you hide your whereabouts and hide in this world like a mouse crossing the street, then let your heirs pay for it all for you. Xiaoyang, at this point, even if you use the power of holy flame, I'm afraid it won't help. Yun Yun looked at the 6 holy flames that suddenly burst out from Xiaoyang's body. Her beautiful eyes shrank violently, and scolded. It is precisely because there is only this chance of life, so I can't give up. Lend me the fire of holy flame in your body temporarily. Then, you go. Xiaoyang's eyes always stayed on the Emperor of Heaven. No matter how the thunder around him burst into bursts of pressure and imprisonment, Xiaoyang was unmoved. It seems that he has already held the determination to die. trying to fall with the Emperor of Heaven and then here. But as strong as the Emperor of Heaven, could it not be that Xiaoyang, who is now sluggish, can defeat him? Sister, let's go. Immediately, the spirit of holy flame that had been inhabiting Yunyun's body, the flower spirit poured out, also standing in front of Xiaoyang, and said with the same enemy, "Go. Now we live and die together. Go ahead." The next moment, Yunyun smiled sweetly, with a small white flame flower in her palm. The seventh holy flame, the fire of the source of 10,000 flowers. How sure are you? The flower elf's face was serious for a while. Looking at the powerful posture of the heavenly emperor, she asked Xiaoyang. Less than 30%. Xiaoyang shook his head, took the seventh holy flame, frowned, carefully activating the burning decision in his body. 7 flames with different attributes slowly entrenched in front of Xiaoyang, and a small cauldron of flame loomed, like a bred out of heaven and earth fetish, blooming with ancient fluctuations. Stubborn. Then I will send you to myself. The power of heaven and earth. Lei Ji. A dull sound rang out, and thunder and lightning raged out of the entire heaven and earth, and a silver lightning chain hung in the sky like a life-destroying talisman. The breath released from the lightning chain made the hearts of the 5 people in front of them beat violently, and their blood vessels coagulated, as if a catastrophe was imminent. 7 flames. Xiaoyang stared at such a huge pressure, bearing the brunt of the front, trying to use his own flesh and blood to resist the most dangerous scene for the 4 women. Die. The thunder roared, and the chain of thunder burst out like a bolt of lightning. In just an instant, the entire void disintegrated again, and the destructive fluctuations in it were already a mortal situation for the 5 people today. Even in death, we have nothing to fear. The 4 women's beautiful eyes moved their hands and dragged the last source power in their bodies, supporting Xiaoyang's body, actually trying to resist this devastating blow. Bang bang bang. With a bang, a figure lifted up to the sky, tearing apart the void like covering the sky and covering the sun, and came from the sky. Crack. With a bang, the attack gathered by the 6th-level powerhouse turned into countless dust and fled in all directions under the roar of this black shadow. Who? Get out of this, Emperor. When the Emperor of Heaven saw this, the net of lightning that bound Xiaoyang and the 4 of them was broken in an instant, and he immediately looked at the world with an angry expression. You haunted bastard, asshole. How dare you imprison this king? This king will let you die. As soon as the voice fell, a black shadow of a behemoth gushed out, and before the heavenly emperor could react, a giant cyan tail of several thousand meters, with a heavy mountain breath, stabbed it away. Crack. Heavenly emperor gathered around the silver sky thunder, and easily waved it to resist its attack, but on top of the originally calm face, it suddenly became extremely ugly. You immortal, actually broke free from my seal? At this moment, the Emperor of Heaven clearly realized the identity of this behemoth, and smiled gloomily. Humph. There are very few people who can make this king subdue in this piece of heaven, but you are never qualified. A despicable, shameless villain, trying to be the master of this king? The behemoth and the heavenly emperor were stalemate on the sky together, and the angry voices roared one after another, resounding through the sky like countless mountains. Brother Xiaoyang, are you all right? The void was squirming, and 3 figures emerged from behind Xiaoyang. Zuna, you'll be fine. Xiaoyang retracted the 7 colored flames, surrounded his body, looked at the delicate and unscathed woman in front of him, and immediately said with peace of mind. Second brother, hihi. It hurts badly. On the side, Xiao Yi and Princess Chenqin spoke together, and after seeing the obvious scars on Xiaoyang's body, they sighed for a while. Don't worry, I can't die. But the current situation is not optimistic. After a brief exchange, Xiaoyang's expression was still extremely solemn. Yun, Sister Yun. Well, Zuna, sister. The 2 simply looked at each other, and the atmosphere was very strange, but they also knew that the immediate priority, other things, they should wait for the end to deal with it slowly. That is. Turning his head, Xiaoyang looked at the huge figure standing in front of the heavenly emperor slowly revealing his true body, and was a little surprised for a while. What is that? Brother Xiaoyang doesn't know? Zuna is slim, and her hands are as cute as an elf girl, but behind her is a rather delicate stone box. Inside the stone box, there is a certain powerful aura. Dragon clan, dominate the Dragon King. Xiaoyang suddenly lost his voice as the shattered lower body within his body sent out waves of fiery heat. Baxia Dragon King? Several other people lost their voices together, but after a brief hesitation, bursts of ecstasy suddenly appeared on their cheek. With the help of the Dragon King Baxia this time against the Heavenly Emperor, I am afraid there is a chance of victory. Brother Xiaoyang, this thing is for you, I believe you will know how to use it better than us. Also, this is the source of my holy flame. Zunna's complexion suddenly changed, and she immediately handed the stone box and her own source of fire into Xiaoyang's hands. Shui Ling Zhu. But the breath is a little wrong. Xiaoyang took the stone box and cooperated with the fire spirit orb, which was agitated within his body, and immediately became clear. The next moment, taking over the source flame from Zunna's hand, the 8 sources of holy flames rose together. A maddening thought slowly entrenched in Xiaoyang's heart. 8 kinds of holy flames. God-killing ruler. This video will end here.